Hello everybody, I'm Chef Shawn Robison and I am also executive chef of Savvy Solutions Catering. And what I want to do here tonight is do a little duet of game hen. Now, what we want to do today is, first of all, talk a little bit about the Cornish hen. The Cornish hen is not actually a game hen at all. It's a hybrid chicken. So one thing I like to do to this bad fella here is I make my own roasting spice. Now this roasting spice that we're about to put together here is really low in sodium, so it's super good and you can use a lot of it. You can go heavy on it and won't offend anybody. First thing we want to do first is start off with a little bit of brown sugar. We want to go 2 teaspoons of brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of paprika, 2 tablespoons of thyme, 1 tablespoon of black pepper, a tablespoon of garlic and onion powder, and a tablespoon of crushed red pepper flakes, and about 1.5 tablespoons of kosher salt. What you want to do is incorporate that all together, get it all mixed up, get those flavors in there. You want to really get it all mixed up. You don't want them brown sugar to clump. There. Once we get it all nice and incorporated, what I like to do is get some fresh thyme and just kind of stuff the cavity right in there with this thyme. You want to just get it all in there. Don't be shy either, because all of those flavors are going to get right in that cavity and you're going to love it. Now with this type of roasted spice, you can definitely go heavy. You don't have to be shy at all because it's only a little bit of kosher salt, not as much salt as some other like Lawry's and some of your typical store-bought seasonings. Once you get her all seasoned and dressed up, you want to put her on a greased cooking pan, and you want to place her in a 350 oven for about an hour. Just like that. Now, while we're doing the game hen, we're also going to do a sweet potato mash. This sweet potato mash is a little bit different from your typical mashed potato. Because number one, sweet potatoes is good for you. Two totally different animals all together. Sweet potatoes are really good for you, especially if you got a diabetic problem. It digests a little better in your system versus the regular sweet potato. Regular Idaho potato keep your blood sugar really, really high. This right here, it digests really well. Your body can metabolize it a lot slower than your typical potato. So people with the low carb diet, not to worry, sweet potatoes is awesome for that. So what we're gonna do is, we're gonna oil that bad boy up, throw her on the pan. We'll get me a little oil here. We'll rub her down with a little oil. We're gonna also throw her in the oven at 350 right alongside of our game hen there. Those take about the same length of time to cook, so about an hour at 350 for your hen and about an hour for your sweet potato. Now, while those roasting, we're going to go ahead and talk about our quail here, our other hen, which I like to call the duet of game hen. Now, this quail here is from the southwest Texan region of the United States. Really, American quail is not really quail at all. It's more related to the partridge family than it is the actual quail. The European quail is a little different from American quail, but whoever got here first, they saw the bird running around and they said, ooh, a quail, but it's really not even a quail at all, but it's really closely related. So what we have our quail in is a buttermilk brine. Now, one reason why we like brines, because brines help tenderize the meat and they help capture the moisture right inside the meat. So what we want to do to make that is we want to take about a quart of buttermilk, get her in a bowl, then we want to take equal parts of salt and sugar. I like to use brown sugar because it gives a little bit more flavor to kind of counteract the saltiness from the salt. So we got our salt in there, a little brown sugar, I like to put a little thyme. and a little rosemary and oregano that I already had pre-chopped. Want to get all of that mixed up. Try to get some of that sugar nice and dissolved. From that point, you want to just get your quail in there, marinate it anywhere from 8 hours to overnight. I'm telling you, marinade and brines really, really, really work well. So I'm gonna stick this to the side for now. And I already have some quail pretty much sitting in buttermilk brine. And these things been sitting here for about 12 hours. And they are gonna be good. So first thing we wanna do is get that in there. Get in some all-purpose flour. And we're just gonna season them up. Toss that, just like so. Now, one secret about frying chickens, birds, or anything you want to drop in grease that has flour, you want to really work it for a while. Just get in there and just work it, keep working that flour, because what you're going to do is that gluten is going to start tightening up. And when that gluten tighten up, that's how you get your Crispies. So what you want to do is get them out that flour. I like to take that breast, which is just the top side, just the bottom. I like to take the breast and just roll it under like that so it look like a little tiny baby turkey. Be nice and cute, just like that. And then from there, I let them sit out for about 5-6 minutes or so. Let that air get to that flour. The moisture inside the skin is going to contact with that flour and it's going to create a nice sticky surface on top. Then we're just going to throw them in some nice vegetable oil and fry them to golden brown. Yeah, just like that. Now, while those are going, what I'm gonna do for you now is, now what we're about to do is, we're gonna go over here. I already had a few sweet potatoes already finished. And what we're gonna do, I'm gonna go through and make a nice sweet potato mash. Maybe just a little bit of more salt. Wow, and now we have really good sweet potato mash. Most of the time this recipe here calls for coconut milk, but the Coco Lopez has a very strong coconut flavor and it delivers a lot better than the actual milk. So we're gonna put that to the side now. Clean up this here. We got a quail over here going, roaring. Oh, they're nice. They're nice. These little fellas usually take about 10 to 15 minutes. I like to cook them in a low fryer grease, more like 300 degrees versus your typical 350 or 325 where most people like to fry chickens. Now, while those going, what we're gonna do is now, we're gonna go back and we're gonna check out our Cornish hens in the oven here. They look like they're going good. A lot of time these little fellas, they're so small, they tend to get dry on you a lot. So sometimes what I like to do is, I like to get just a little bit of liquid and I put it right in the bottom of the pan so to just have a little more moisture to it. So I'm just gonna get just a little bit of water. about a 1/4 cup. And I like to add it to the pan later, just so it won't stick and you get a lot of moisture in there to help it go along. I'm just going to check our quail here. Get those a little roll, flip them over until they get golden brown. Now while all of those are going, we're going to do us some stir-fried vegetables here really quick. Our vegetables we're going to do today is a broccolini. There you go, a little action there. This broccolini is pretty new these days. A lot of times it's like a hybrid mix between a broccoli and an asparagus, but they're really closely related to the turnip family. So what we're going to do here, we're going to get our pan nice and hot. Make sure we get a little smoky there. And we're going to drop our broccolini in there and saute them until they start to blister a little bit. I like to use a little high heat because I love that caramelization, that dark smoky flavor that you get when you really let it get that color. So we're just going to let this get nice and hot until we start seeing just a wee bit of smoke. And why I like to do the duet game here, because most dinner parties and things I go to, most people always either have fried chicken or baked chicken. This duet thing kind of breaks it up a little bit. You get a little bit of game hen and you get a little bit of quail. The quail have a deep, kind of nutty livery flavor in the breast section, and the game hen is just the Cornish hen is just awesome. Just good eats. Actually, the Cornish hen, like I said earlier, is just a hybrid chicken actually, and it's a young chicken. They only let them get to about 6 to 7 weeks old, and then it's time for them to go to the slaughter. So now we got a little bit of heat in our pan here, and we're just gonna lightly saute our broccolini here. Oh yeah, just like that. Now some people think you should cut the stalks just about down here, almost the same way you do in the asparagus. Myself, I don't even play that game. I say let it go. Let's cook it all. These are really good vegetables. You get a little contrast between the sweet flavor up here by the buds and a dark nutty flavor down here by the stem. So I like that contrast. I say let it ride. Why cut it? Now asparagus, that's a whole different animal because it's a little bit more stalkier towards the butt. Just gonna turn that down a little bit and just kind of let that go. It's starting to get a little color on the darker ones down underneath. Oh yeah. Now while that's going, I'm just gonna kind of check on my little quail here. Now, I know people cook all different type of ways, but I tell you, sometimes you can just listen to the sound of your grease or what you're frying. When you hear that roar just kind of die down to a nice mellow roar, that means most of that liquid and most of that moisture inside of that cavity is almost cooked out. And that first it started off kind of popping and sizzling, now it's just kind of like a nice subtle roar. That's letting you know this bad fella is getting close to done. So you can cook all type of ways, ladies and gentlemen. You just don't have to strictly go off time. You can do a little intuition, use a little bit of all your senses, your smell. Look at it, hear it. Let the food talk to you, because it's talking, believe it or not. Oh, you can start to get that aroma from that broccolini. It's starting to get really good color. We're getting some blistering right here on the outer skin. We're close to done. Yes. Check in on our Cornish hen, our sweet. She's looking good. Now, we do everything family style here at this show, so I'm going to plate everything up family style and make it beautiful and do it all on one big platter instead of individually serving or having people self-serve themselves from like a buffet line scenario. So I already have some sweet potatoes already done. I'm going to bring them out. Voila. And what I like to do with things like this is I made a little sweet potato chip. These sweet potato chips was cut really super thin on a mandolin. And then I like to just take them, just kind of fan them out. Throw a few there. Let me see. Throw a few here. Another nice thing I like to do to the sweet potato mash is candy almonds. I take these almonds and I toss them with a little bit of honey and maple syrup. Throw them in a 350-degree oven until that sugar starts to dissolve and caramelize and it gets all sticky. Let it cool down, take it off the sheet tray, chop them up in little bits, and we just gonna coat the top. Coat the top of the sweet potato mash with some candy almonds. And then every good chef like to finish a dish with a little bit of green, with a color contrast. And why stop there, huh? Let's just take it a little further. Why not? We got some good old Michigan grown, Michigan processed maple syrup here. And we're just gonna take it over the top with a little bit of natural sugar. What? Whew. Are you kidding me right now? I'm getting excited. This is killing me. I'm getting excited. There's our sweet potato mash. Now, we already have a few quail already done and some game hen, and I'm gonna show you how I like to plate those as well. Here's our finished product. And what I like to do with these is get them right off this pan, right on our cutting board. We're going to present these as such. Move some of my junk out the way. I'm going to just get these a cut right up the middle. As soon as we give them a cut, we want to take out some of our thyme that we had stuffed the cavity with. Get that out of there. And we're going to do the same thing to these three. Just give them a cut right up the middle. Get that thyme right out of the cavity. It's done its job. It's over. Just like so. And then next, what I like to do, just gonna display these fellas right on the platter, just like this. Just get them all around here. Section around, just like so. And that's not it. We're going to take their cousins, the little quail, just going to put them right on top. So it's like a little garnish and a little main course all at once. Look at that. Tell me when tell me won't be some people not enjoying this dinner party. We have fried quail, game Cornish hen, and once again, I can throw just a little bit of greens in there just to make everything kind of pop and come alive. There we are. And we have our broccolini, which is ready to rock now. Now that's the color and the caramelization I was talking about right there. That's what we want. You can almost smell that nutty flavor coming right out in them. That's what we're looking for right there. I think she's about done. Oh yeah. Personally, I like to give it a little pinch. If it's tender to the pinch and it squeeze right from one end of the skin to the other, they're ready to rock. Oh, don't worry about that. Sometimes they like to try to get away from you. We won't let them. Do it like that. A little bit of salt. And we are good to go. So there we have a duet of game hen, sweet potato mashed potatoes, sweet potato mash with candy almonds, and our stir-fried broccolini. Who wouldn't love this? Let's eat. All right, well, we got everything all set, our plate set, and now we're ready to eat. You've been watching Doing It Up Family Style with Chef Shawn Robison. And on that note, we're about to eat. Here, y'all ready for some of this game here?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. Who wants some first? Would you like a little here and there, lady? Ladies first, they say. Yeah?